We are live at Wolves 111, getting you ready for the NCAA tournament. Guys, we're sitting down with Craig Forth, Columbia High School legend, Syracuse University legend. We're looking at national championship rings here during the break. I know you're excited. I know I'm excited. And you really want to ask Craig this story about Jim Boeheim. And I have no idea where you're going with this, so I want to know, too.
We'll get to it first, but first I want to make sure Craig gets the acknowledgement he deserves. Tell us a little bit about the honor you received from Syracuse University at a recent dinner.
Yeah, I went back for the Hardwood Club dinner, and they actually awarded me the Vic Hansen Medal of Excellence.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Feeling very honored to be have been honored in that way. Looking at the list of people who have earned it before with John Wooden, Bob Costas, that type of thing, it's humbling to even be put into the same category as those people. So definitely a highlight of my life at this point. Got the entire family out there to see that for me. Gave a nice little speech and got to see the crew again. So it's great to be out there.
Now, Coach Boeheim had shared a story that you'd only got one B in your entire college academic career. Is that true?
That is true.
Wow.
Yes, thank you. I actually made the mistake when I went there going into the geography department. I said, okay, I'm going to train to be an educator, but I'm also going to go and take a minor in geography. And I was not exactly the greatest geography student. Loved it, loved the concepts, but it was hard work. And actually, I ended up earning 1B my entire career. Ended up with a 3.87 GPA. And actually, one of the more proud things that I've done in my life has been named as a 2-time academic All-American team member. So. That's when we go back to the Cuse and we see the Hall of Fame walkway that they have at Carmelo Anthony Center. We take a look, and I can't wait to show my kids my name on the wall.
It's amazing. 3.87 playing Division I sports at a high level. You and I played Division III.
I had a 3.5, guys. I don't know about you, but I had a 3.5.
I don't academic one time, but we're not Craig Force level right now. Amazing accomplishments. Congratulations on all those honors.
Thank you.
Craig, do you still play at all? You probably get that question a lot. Do you still play?
I've officially played organized basketball once in the past year.
Yeah.
We actually do an activity over at Mechanicville, which is essentially a Stillwater High School teachers group versus the Mechanicville High School teachers group. We actually raised money for 2 families that are struggling in the battle against cancer, and we split the money in half for them. We're actually, the last 5 years it's been held at Mechanicville. This year it's going to be handled over in Stillwater. So I strap them on a little bit there and run up and down the court, pretend that I'm still in shape, and dunk a couple for the crew.
There you go.
We have a lot of fun, raise a lot of money. It's all for a good cause.
Now, do you have any desire to coach or anything? Are you doing any coaching? Now, I think you were doing some coaching at Columbia when you were there previous, if I'm not mistaken.
I was coach. I coached JV for 4 years and varsity girls basketball for 2.
Okay.
I think one thing that I'm most looking forward to is basically coaching my children.
Yeah.
I've got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and one on the way.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much. Due in July, and got to credit my wife for wanting to go through it again and wanting to stick with me around for that time period. So we're very much looking forward to expanding our family. But like I said, the coaching I'm looking forward to doing is the soccer field, the little league, the basketball, at the lowest levels there, and really enjoying my family.
Put us in the locker room now. You've played in the regular season with tough competition in the Big East. You've played in the Big East tournament. You've played in the NCAA tournament. What's the vibe? How different is it getting ready for an NCAA tournament game?
It depends on which game we're talking about. You're looking when we first walk through and we're playing against the Manhattan, and then we go on to the little bit bigger level with Oklahoma State, that type of thing. The energy level is there, but it's we're almost every time you walk into a Syracuse locker room, we're going to win this game. No matter what. You walk in, that's where you are, and the expectations, as I said before, are very, very high, and there's never any doubt that you're in the game and you're going to win the game. In terms of as you get closer and closer, when you get to the Kansas and Texas games in the Final Four, it was surreal. It was I can't even remember every single solitary event that happened during that time, but we were, again, we were joking around in the locker room. Boeheim had to kind of rein us all in, sitting us down. Again, young kids don't understand the gravity of the situation. Again, playing with nothing to lose, and we go out and even at halftime, joking around a little bit, and being able to just keep that loose feeling. And some teams are like that. You hear national bracketologists, analysts, people looking at the matchup. They always talk about the 2-3 zone, Jim Boeheim zone. You've been a part of the 2-3 zone. Why do so many teams who don't play against it in the regular season have such difficulty going up against it in a tournament-style setting? I would say it all depends on, you can run a 2-3. I used to run it during when I was coaching, but I think it has to do, primarily with the athletes that are on there that are used to playing it all year long, and they've perfected it at this point in this season. So when you're throwing the ball into the middle, you know you're going to get swarmed. You throw the ball down onto the short corner, you know you're going to get trapped by the middleman and by the side guard. So there's no way to really prepare for it, because it's different than any other 2-3 zone that's out there. It's highly touted. It's been practiced for years. Jim Boeheim is the best at setting it up and executing it, and his guys, basically break through brick walls for him. So that's the difference between that and a typical 2-3.
104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com. Brady and Gaz in for Levac today. We're live at Wolves 111. We're sitting down with Syracuse national champion Craig Forth, Columbia High School graduate. And Craig, you just mentioned the high-pressure games of the NCAA tournament. I was there at the Times Union Center in 2003 when you guys took down, it was Auburn and then Oklahoma.
Correct.
In the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. What was it like, not only just to advance to the Final Four, but to do it in your hometown?
Well, we obviously, we're talking very similarly to the way they're talking about Syracuse this year. We were gifted, quote unquote, the way that we went through. We went to Boston, then we went to Albany, then go down to Louisiana and pretend to play. So we're going through, and I remember the same exact stands. We were playing Auburn, and we were playing again, and Syracuse was there, and the entire arena was orange.
Yeah.
So it was, and my entire family's sitting there. So I got my whole cheering section. We were having a great time with that. But just, again, surreal, something to remember forever. And, again, a great road to go through. Pretty easy games, if you want my personal opinion.
We look at tonight's matchup. Trevor Cooney, there's been comparisons to Jerry McNamara as a shooter, a big guy down low, DeJuan Coleman, Tyler Roberson. People look at them. Michael Benajay is senior leader on this team. We look at the matchup tonight, Gonzaga and Syracuse. How can the Orange win this game and advance to the Elite Eight?
I think they need to keep riding the momentum, quite frankly. I've watched the last two games, and I think, when one hits a three of them hit a three.
Yeah.
And then it's automatic. And, that doesn't happen, that's when they struggle. So when we're going through, I also think that the big one for me was I'm watching Roberson go down and grabbing, 9, 10, 11 rebounds, crushing the offensive boards and cleaning up on the defensive end. And then I was really impressed by Leiden last time, where he's in the middle of the zone. He's playing like he's a junior.
Right.
Yeah. So he's from the beginning of the year where you're wondering, is this guy strong enough, to the 2 games ago where I'm seeing him throw the ball over the top to him, catch it in traffic, and go up and score off the basket. I tell you what, I think they got all the makings to make a pretty good run.
Craig, I played at Shen, you played at Columbia, so whenever we have a local guy on, I always ask the question. When you were coming out, it was you, and then it was James Thomas, and then later there's Jimmer Fredette and those guys. What's it like for you to see the explosion of Section 2 talent? Because now we got kids going to Albany, we got kids going to Maryland, we got kids all over the place in Division I. What's that mean to you as a Section 2 guy?
Well, this is a hotbed for basketball, quite frankly. It's great to watch different, kids progress, and great programs like your Shens, like your Columbias, and obviously the other ones that are in the area. Funny backstory, thinking back to the Texas game we played in the Final Four. James Thomas is on that team. To me, it puts Capital Region right on the map. You come here, you have a shot. You can go forward with, possibly playing some basketball. I didn't get a chance to see the Huter kid from Shenandoah play yet. Looking forward to seeing him play down at Maryland next year, and hopefully make a pretty good run again.
I have people texting me and tweeting me about this. I don't know why I'm going to ask you this, but I'm going to do what the listeners want. They want to ask about the victory parade you guys have in Syracuse downtown. You win the national championship. They want to know what you think about Jim Boeheim's hat he wore during it.
I wish I had one just like it, quite frankly. I'd still be hanging on my wall if I were Jim Boeheim, quite honestly. But no, that was an awesome event. He's the ringleader, and he's got the bright orange with the white ruffles around the outside. It was awesome. I was about 4 cars behind, following him. I can't remember who I sat next to, but again, that whole process was just a surreal event from the minute we got back on the plane to come back in Syracuse. We pulled into Manley Fieldhouse at the time and just got swarmed with people walking through. So it was a great event. People in Syracuse just cry for national championships, and I'm really hopeful that this year could be one of those times where we at least make a bigger run than we have in the past.
104.5 The Team, 104.5theteam.com. Brady and Gaz in for Levac. We thank Craig Forth for sitting down with us.